Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time I'm meeting you here. Yeah, today I want to really share two talks from Eckhart, of course, and from Dr. Bruce Lipton. We have kind of a week of those two guys together. And they have a very important message here about this whole idea about depression, the depressive mode, the depressive thoughts, the depressive feelings, emotions. Yeah, this whole mixture, this whole recipe. I would call it a recipe of feeling, being, creating depression. Now, it's the same like the opposite when you create joy. Yeah, you do that also through all parts of your being. Yeah, the physical, the mental, and the spiritual. Yeah, way, and you can do that in two directions. Actually, only it's always two directions. It's rather the. And you can split it into anxiety and into love direction, into fear of death or joy of life. Yeah, it's always these two directions. You can look and yeah, it's like a perspective you look at. Those two perspectives. And yes, it has so much to do with your whole condition, with all together. And it's always a question of what was first, the egg or the chicken. Yeah. Did I first experienced something that reminded me of something and then created more thinking, thoughts, and connected emotions with this program? Yeah, the program inside of me that calls up a feeling because of a certain similar experience I'm having right now, I'm going through right now. And yeah, so it's a very interesting field also to understand that, first of all. Yeah, now I would love to just let you listen to Eckhart first. Then I will give you some more inputs from my experience and some tips and tricks how to easy change the perspectives. Yeah. And then we see what Bruce will tell us about this whole thing from his more scientific approach. Yeah, I love this combination very much. So now lean back, relax, take this time that is your me time now, where you can really soak up the information that you get here and implement it into your system. And then when you go through your day, it will already have informed you in another way that you might have been before. Yeah, so enjoy, relax, and take some deep breaths to be able to relax, to let your thoughts go that you had carried until now. And don't forget your wonderful gift in the end. Yes, the surprising gift for you there is from me to you. And now, enjoy listening.
Occasionally you may experience low levels of physical energy, and this can affect the mind too. The important thing is, first of all, when you talk about being depressed and so on, to see whether there is what kind of thoughts are being created in your mind when I say you, it's not really you. It's the mind pattern with which you are that moment completely identified, and that's why I call it you. So in that moment, it is you. So there are many, many people who are addicted to their unhappy states, the unhappiness in them. And if some people have it almost continuously, but most people have periods when this happens and then it subsides, and that's the typical way in which the pain body arises from its dormant state, feeds on several hours or even days of deep negative thinking, and then subsides, and then for a while you're free again. So addiction to unhappiness, this is one way of speaking about it. Be careful to see whether you can detect in yourself when in the moment of it happening, you're almost you're indulging in this feeling of, could be self-pity or condemnation of life or others or whatever it is. You love it. You love that you love that those feelings and those thoughts, and you don't want to get out. If somebody at that moment said to you to come out of it, you say, "Oh, shut up! I don't want to hear." Now, some people have that so strongly that the addiction to unhappiness has become part of their conditioned personality. So they are part of their identity is a very unhappy sense of self. And if that is a terrible place to be in. But again, the only way that you can transcend that and escape from that prison is to be aware when it happens. So a good question, therefore, is, am I enjoying my unhappiness in some weird way? Do I love my unhappiness? And if I love my unhappiness, who is that I that loves unhappiness? It must be a weird and crazy I that loves unhappiness. So maybe that's not really me. Maybe it's just an unhappy self in me that loves. I know that I had that very strongly for many years in my 20s. So you have to be really alert and see whether you enjoy your unhappiness. And once you notice it, you say, "Oh, wow, I'm really enjoying this." In the moment of noticing it, you've made it conscious. And then it's very likely that you cannot go on very much longer enjoying it, because this can only continue when you're unconscious. It needs your unconsciousness. This false self, it's an aspect of the false self that is the ego. It needs your unconsciousness to continue to survive. But when you make it conscious, then there comes a moment of surprise and says, "Oh, wow, I'm actually enjoying this. I don't want to I love these negative thoughts." Love in a perverse way, almost. This is the egoic kind of love. And then you might even ask, is that who I am? Who am I? Why do I love this? This awareness is coming. Awareness is arising. And then suddenly you step out of identification with that mind pattern, mental emotion. And that is part of the awakening. So those things for many people are a very important part of their spiritual awakening. The very important part of spiritual awakening is to become aware of the unconsciousness in you, the various ways in which the unconsciousness manifests in you. That's an extremely important part of awakening. In fact, you need that to provide fuel for the arising of presence.
Yes, thank you a lot. Thanks very, very much, Eckhart, for your very clear words, let's say clear words about this whole being state of being depressive and kind of addicted to depression, as he pointed out here. Many of us are. And there are different varieties of depth of depression mode, of sadness, and this addiction to. Well, this addiction is always the same, but there are different grades and different levels, and So, but I want to really point out as well the ones that you don't really realize, and that you can only realize, and you will realize that when you meet people that are in joy, where you think, how can you be so joyful? This life is not so joyful. Yes, and what is most important for all of us to change that mode, because we are so used to it. What does make people like you and me change something in their life? We need a motivation. We need some kind of motivation. And that's why there are all these techniques around vision boards, visions, to have a vision, to visualize what you would like to have in your life. And it's not just like, it's really love. You have to really go very deep into that complete fulfilled feeling, how your life would look like when you are completely fulfilled. Because only such a strong emotion that you can create in this picture of yours, of your life with yourself in it. Only this picture can create a strong enough emotion that is capable of having the power to change you, to change that mode persistently, and not just thinking about it and and then going back to it. It needs work. And this work is only connecting you always, as often as you can in the day, with your wonderful imagination picture of how your life would be just so fulfilled, would just feel so wonderful fulfilled. And when your thoughts come up and then want to tell yourself, but how, let it say it, but it's not the question for you. Your mind wants to argue, wants to bring up arguments to stay as it is, to not having to change. It doesn't want to change, it wants to save energy. Your mind is created to save energy all the time, to make you not move, to make you not do something, to make you not say something, or that's how it is. It wants to save energy, but it doesn't help you. If you save energy and your life is in a mess, or your mood is in a mess, how does it help to not change it? To not do anything about it, and to not find for solutions to feel different. And if you want, you can relax into this. If you have this moment Maybe right now coming up with where your head wants to argue against all this, wants to say, yes, but how, but how, but how? How should this be possible? Look where you are right now. Look what it is all right now. And then what you can do then, first of all, breathe and close your eyes. And not realize, put your focus on what is good already. Tell your brain to give you pictures of what is already going good, what is already better than yesterday, than a few minutes ago. What is wonderfully good that you can enjoy right now by taking the focus away from what is right now that you don't like to what is that you can like, because in your life there is all kinds of things. There are the ones that you don't like, and there are the things that you do like. So put the energy on things you do like, you do enjoy, and even if it's the smallest things. Maybe it's a wonderful tea you have made yourself. Maybe it's the time you right now take for yourself to listen to such talks, to relax and not sit in front of the TV, but rather listen to wonderful talks. Maybe it's sad, maybe it's some wonderful good dish you made today to have, to prepare some good food you liked, or you did for your family. Maybe you appreciate the full what is the word in English? Where you put all the food in and it's very cold in there. The fridge. Now I got it. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I had a long day already too. Here it's in the evening. Yeah. So maybe you go and visualize what is in your fridge or your freezer. How much food you have. How wonderful is it that you are able to have all this food. And look, already I am very relaxing. Yeah, by all these thoughts, all these thankful, grateful thoughts. Really come down to the small things. Maybe there were some big things. Maybe someone gave a gift to you today. Maybe someone smiled at you. Maybe you smiled at someone. Yeah. Put your focus on this. What you were able to experience today. And maybe you feel it right now already, that your whole feeling changes. Maybe you're calming down, realizing, relaxing into the good things that were today. And now, let's see what Bruce has got to tell us from his scientific point of view. It will be really interesting. I can promise. And don't forget the gift in the end. Please don't forget it. Your wonderful gift.
Since the cells don't actually see the outside, they only can gauge their activity by what the nervous system sends. And this is where the biggest problems in life come from, because we generate beliefs and perceptions that may not be accurate and totally false, and yet once we generate them, they control our chemistry, they control our immune system, they control our biology. And so a false assumption could kill you. And this is really critical because, again, the cells are supposed to be adjusting to the environment, but because they're contained inside the skin, they can only adjust to your perception of the environment, which is releasing chemistry, which is controlling their genetics. And so the issue that we come down to now is let's go to the first conclusion. A, you're not controlled by your genes. The genes are simply blueprints that are controlled by the environment, and in this case of humans, very much influenced by your perception of the environment, separating environment from perception, because our perceptions could be right, but our perceptions could be wrong. To the cells, they just see the perceptions, right or wrong. They're going to read whatever the perception is. So wrong perceptions will mislead your biology and take you away from health.
Now we have two problems with stress. It shuts off growth and it shuts off the immune system. There's a third problem which I call adding more stress. When you are in fight or flight, do you think you use conscious reasoning or reflex behavior? You use reflex behavior. The stress hormones squeeze the blood vessels in the gut, causing the blood to go to the periphery. When the stress hormones come into the body, they also go to the brain, and they squeeze the blood vessels in the front of the brain where consciousness is to push more blood to the back for reflex behavior. That means when you're under stress, you are less intelligent. And for my example, I give you the people of the United States. And the reason is the government knows this. And ever since 9/11, they keep in the media, the newspaper, the television, more stress, more stress. And the result is since 9/11, every year, the pharmaceutical companies have made 20% more profit every year in selling drugs. So it's important to realize that stress affects you in many different levels, but all of them result in shutting down your life. It has now been demonstrated that love is the greatest growth signal in the world. For example, Yugoslavia, where they have orphanages, the people could not afford to take care of their children, and they sent them to orphanages. They got food, clothing, the protection of living inside. They got everything they needed to live except love. And about 40% of those children became autistic. What is autism? Is the child is shutting itself off from the world. It's in protection, closing itself down. And all of the parameters of health and intelligence in these children were greatly suppressed. They got everything but love. The issue is, when we are in this direction in protection, we shut off growth, and that's when illness starts. So when we're on this side of the scale, protection leads to disease, and growth leads to wellness. And I said, well, what causes this disease? And the answer is stress. Now here's the problem that people do not realize. If I just remove the stress from my life, where am I on the scale? It's 0. If you want wellness, it's not just the absence of stress. You need the joy and the love to go to growth. So if you're in the middle place, you're not in real growth and real health. So stress alone is not the problem. It is what we need is more love and life and happiness.
Thank you so much, Bruce. This is wonderfully said. I should not say any more thing to this. Isn't it so right? To remove stress doesn't allow us to be healthy yet. We have to come to that joy and happiness and love. Yeah. And this is exactly what I meant with having a vision. You need to connect to that feeling, to that opposite feeling, not just not being in stress. And let's say stress is a depressive mode as well, yeah? Like Eckhart explained before, with depressive and sad and suffering mode. This is all under the same subject of stress in your system. And what is causing that stress with this depression? Because depression means you have thoughts. You have certain thoughts that make you feel depressed. Yeah, you're thinking bad about your life, and that depresses you, or you're thinking bad about yourself. That's depressing you as well. The others, your life, yourself, anything causes these depressions, these bad feelings, these sadness, anger, all this. And what we want is the opposite, because only on the opposite side we are in growth mode, like Bruce said. We are in openness. We are able to solve things, not just solve, we are able to enjoy dealing with new tasks in life. Let's say tasks with new I have a German word for this, but I don't know the English word again. Yeah, let's call it tasks. Whatever life throws to you to experience, any kind of experience, you can go through everything with joy. Even if someone close to you is dying, you could go into joy because you could right away think about the wonderful things that this person brought to you, brought to your life. How wonderful it was with this person. Because if you think about that and you make a sadness to it, what does happen? It means that it would mean that when you think about the wonderful things you did with this person and you feel sadness, you reprogram to be sad and not joy. To be not in joy. How stupid is that? You should rather go back to these imaginations, to these memories, how wonderful it was, and smile and be joyful about having these pictures in yourself, in your having these memories in yourself. Because even if this person would be alive, you cannot redo these things with this person, because it's also a past that has passed by. So if someone is dying, you can always use it as a reminder to think about the wonderful times, moments you were able to live so far with this person. Yeah. And you can put a relativity to maybe if you had some issues going on with this person. You could even in such a moment feel how unimportant it is to be still maybe angry or mad about a person, about something that the person did, say, or whatever. Yeah. It might sound weird, but that's how it could be. how you deal with something. And yes, of course, it's not I mean, I'm not saying that it is easy and all this. We are programmed over many years, decades, to wear black clothes, to cry, to be sad, and we are programmed to have certain emotions and certain behaviors when someone dies. Here in our, in the industrialized countries, there are people on this planet. They do celebrate when someone is dying. They do exactly what I said. They appreciate these wonderful memories, and then they talk about it with other people. Oh, do you remember when this and that was? And it's a wonderful celebration time for them to rethink about the wonderful times. It's like a birthday party, almost, yeah. So, and a wonderful exercise if you have a stressful time and you're maybe not able to not think about your bad situation you're in whatever it is. Then you could do a reframing. The reframing exercise I did already with you before, but I will do it again, as it is very useful. You can, for example, think about something where you had a lot of joy, where you felt a lot of joy, and let these pictures come into your mind, and then let the feeling come through your body, and let your nose smell what smell was in that moment. Let your skin feel the temperature or the wind, and your ears, let your ears hear what was there. Was there some nature around you, some animals, birds, a dog or whatever, a horse, a cat? Was there salty air you could breathe? Was it on the ocean? Create some wonderful pictures where you were really feeling very happy. And then you go and switch to a moment where maybe you have this picture now on the right side, standing there. Put a frame around it. Put a wonderful frame around it. And then you let it sit there, and then you move over to the left side maybe, and you visualize a moment maybe you're facing right now, you have just faced, that really didn't make you feel good. It made you feel really bad, and then maybe angry, maybe mad, maybe any bad situation. Okay, and then you put a frame and feel it and see it, and and smell and hear and see and feel on your skin. Where are you? Is it inside, outside? Is it cold? Is it warm? Is it raining? Is it shining the sun? Is it evening? Is it morning? Where and what and how? Really go into that imagination. And then you put a frame around that one. And now exchange the frames. Take the frame from the dark, let's call it the dark situation, and put it onto the lightful situation, and put the lightful frame around the dark situation. And see what is happening. Take a look on the right picture where the light picture was with that now dark frame. What is happening? Is this lightness of the picture lightening the frame as well? Is it touching it, lightening it? And now go over to the dark situation and look what this wonderful shiny frame around it does. Is it also shining onto the painting, onto the dark situation and enlightening it? Yeah, it gives it some light. Yes. And now you can switch back the frames and only take the light frame and put it on the dark situation. And let it shine through this whole dark situation, to this whole dark moment. Give it some light and turn the light on and on, more and more. There is all this light that you had in the other situation. Turn it on and see what happens. Maybe that arguing is kind of useless, senseless, or even funny. Maybe you can even reach a funny point about it, looking at it from a distant view with this different light on, with this light on, shining onto this situation. And this is something you can do more often and switch it forth and back, switch it back and then forth again. This will really help you to lighten even the dark places in your life. Yeah. And now I give you a wonderful reminder of who you really are in this life and all the lives of the people around you. Yes, you are a lottery win, the greatest you can think of. And as you are a huge, wonderful human being, you deserve a wonderful gift as well. which is, yes, a free coaching session with me, where we can go deeper and deeper and deeper into whatever wants to show to you to be healed from any kind of thinking, thought, or even an illness that already manifested inside of your body, caused by some unmatching thoughts about you, your environment, other people, probably all together. Please feel free, contact me. My email address is on the channel description. You will find it there. Write me, and then yes, you will get a wonderful free session. How wonderful is it? I'm looking forward to meeting you, for sure. And now I let you enjoy your day. Each second, each minute, each hour. And even if you are not jumping around like a funny rabbit, that's fine too, you don't have to. But if you like, you can do it all day long. And then close your eyes, fall asleep, 5-6 hours sleep, and then you are up again, because your joyful energy makes you even sleep less but more intense. Yes, that's another secret of this wonderful behavior, new program. Yes. Look forward to meeting you.